Round 2 for Blackout Bullet Journal, February 2018. We're going to start off by doing a quick recap to see how well January planned out for me. The cover held up really nicely, didn't really snag, so I was glad that I added that extra glue and everything still looks as crisp, as clear as I first made it. While I was super excited to use this erasable calendar, however, my January was super slow, so there's not much there. Just like my calendar, my social was completely lacking. I'll make sure to get on top of that for the next month. I have tons of great ideas coming at you, and my budget tracker, let's just say it's surprising to see what you spend your money on when you actually keep track. My week by week actually really helped me just keep myself where I needed to be for the whole month. I loved how simple the design was. However, my only thing is these blank pages that I had on either side were a little annoying to me, so I'm hoping for my next spread I have something that fills it up a bit more. I was really active for reading and movies. I'm a bit more proud about the reading part rather than the movies, because movies I can definitely be more productive. However, they were all the Star Wars and all the Harry Potters, so who can really blame me? As for my reflection page, I tried to keep it a bit more minimal since I really loved the drawing on it. On to our next month spread. We're going to start off by doing again our cover page and making that little pocket so we can keep our calendar in it. This month's theme is all about the Hunger Moon, not the Hunger Games, the Hunger Moon, otherwise known as from the Cherokee tribe, the Bone Moon. February has the heaviest snowfalls of all the months. Therefore, people oftentimes went hungry since food was very scarce. Because of this heavy snowfall, February is also known as the full snow moon as well as the storm moon. For my cover page, I'm going to be doing this bird skull. I truly find anatomy, whether it's human or animal, to be absolutely amazing just to see how our bodies differ and how the skeletal structure is put together. I outlined this first with my Chalky's silver marker. Even though it's a dry erase marker, it's still, you can draw with it, you can write with it. It doesn't really matter, they're very versatile. Going in with my gold pen touch marker, I'm going to give this bird a gold-tipped beak as well as color in the branch gold just for a different pop of color. The last thing that I'm doing is I'm going in with my silver metallic gel pen just to give the skull a bit more detail as well as fill in with some icicles along the branch. For my lettering, I just went with a very tall, skinny style to really reflect the idea of hunger. And here's a close-up. Again, sorry for not erasing that graphite. I'm going to be taking the calendar that we created for our last month, and I'm just going to be erasing it. You can use Windex. This is a multi-purpose spray that I'm using. You just spray it on, wipe it off, and you're ready to go. Again, that's why I made sure in my last video to mention that you want to put that grid, that black grid, on the back so you don't erase the grid. And this is what it looks like all finished. My dates are important for the month, and I'm going to go ahead, cut out this paper with a triangle to give it a background, and then we'll put that calendar back in. This is some really cool paper that I bought again at Hobby Lobby, my favorite store in the entire world. It's called Mercury paper. I got it in a pack for about $6 on sale, and it comes in red, gold, silver, and copper. I noticed that my crafter's tape was peeking out a bit, so I just used some scrap paper to cover up that sticky part so it doesn't stick to my calendar when I put it in. And just like last month, go ahead and tape both the bottom and the side of the paper, and you're going to close your book. Closing the book is a better option rather than folding the page over, since it won't make the page bubble when you flip it over. With that all set, put your calendar in there and we're ready to move on to the next spread. Going in with my silver pen touch marker, I'm going to keep the font the same. As I mentioned, I like keeping my font consistent throughout my spreads, just so it looks crisp and clean and it's not too chaotic. Keeping with that long and skinny font, I'm just going to write out my week by week, add another gold branch, and some icicles. Since this is the page where I have a lot of my writing, since it's my week by week, it's stuff I need to get done, I don't want to put too much in here and take up space from information that I need to write down. And this is what it looks like once I have everything all lined out. I did, again, the 6 square spaces, but for the bottom half, since I split up my weekend, I do 8 squares. My lettering for the days is the same font, I just used my copper marker. Next, I'm going to go in with this wood grain printed vellum paper as well as a piece of white paper, so the paper is not so translucent. By doing this, I have the wood grain on both sides of the white paper, and I'm able to use it where you don't see the lettering from the prior week. Putting crafter's tape on all 4 sides, we're going to apply it to our white paper. Just like our last spread that we did for January, you want to make sure that the white paper is at least 1/4 inch longer, so when we go to insert it into the book, it has a tab where we can flip it back and forth easily. Placing that down carefully and making sure that there's no air bubbles in it. We want to press all those out if there are, and if you see any white excess, we're going to just trim it off at the end so it looks nice and clean. Repeat that process on the other side and go ahead and fold over that 1/4 inch of the white paper for our tab. Really make sure that it's down flat. Use any flat object that you have nearby to really press down that crease. And then go ahead and put your crafter's tape onto the edge. I'm using this white piece of paper on top just so I don't get my vellum paper all sticky. Grabbing that flap, we're going to carefully insert it into our book. Line it up as best as you can, and when you think you have it where it looks the best, we're going to carefully close the book. I used a little piece of extra tape just to make sure the page was secured to this spread. Add in your lines and you're ready for the next page. This page is going to be my budget tracker. As I mentioned before, this is something new for me since I never really track anything that I'm spending, so I'm really liking the idea of seeing where all my money is going. I keep it really simple just by using my gold marker and my silver and gold pen. The design for this page is going to be snapdragons. If you have never seen a snapdragon when it is decaying, go ahead and look up an image of that. A lot of people can find them eerie or creepy because that pod that they leave over after the petals have fallen off resembles something that looks like a skull. I'm just going in with my silver marker and then doing some fine line detailing with my gold gel pen. I just went back in with my silver marker to add a bit more thicker lines, and then everything for that page was done. My next page is all about my social media as well as some brainstorming. I'm really hoping that for this month, I really get myself into gear and I start putting up videos like I keep telling myself I am going to do, and really keeping track of everything that's working for me and that isn't working for me. If you guys have any hints, tips, or tricks as to really get yourself into gear when you want to be motivated, go ahead and let me know what you do to keep yourself motivated and on top of everything. For the center image of this page, I am doing a decayed deer skull with really exaggerated antlers. I'm going to do the antlers in gold and then the skull in silver. Once I have the outline of everything, I really like to go in and just do any minor details to give it more dimension. And this is the finished image. After looking at it closely, I think I may take off those two front icicles on its skull because it kind of looks like it has buck teeth. For my books and movie spread, I'm going to be creating this small little snow owl. I was really inspired after watching Harry Potter last month, so I drew a little hedgehog for this month. It's always really important whenever you're doing any sort of designs or drawings just to really keep it minimal. It's not so much about the images as is for the simplicity of using your bullet journal. So don't worry if your images don't look absolutely amazing. Really just try and get into the idea and concept of doing line works, cross-hatching, stippling, anything that fills the page to give it more dimension. And this is my finished books and movies. Really simple, but still gets the job done. My last page is going to be another reflection page. I really enjoyed it in the last month, so I really wanted to try and incorporate it for this month. Again, talking about just using line work, I did a really simple outline of a wolf. All I did was make it look like it was being lit from the back with just a few hash lines, and then I'm going in with my silver marker to make this snowy effect. Working with black paper, you really have to focus more on the positives, so working in this sketchbook is really pushing me as an artist to understand the different types of positives, negatives, where the light's coming from, and working in this, I feel like I don't have to work as hard as I would with sketching. Once I have everything how I like it, I'm going to cut out the background in the shape of a moon, put some vellum behind it, and then we will be all set with that. I'm going to be using that same marble vellum I used for January in the background. Going in one last time with my silver marker, I'm going to just create these little rays coming out of the background to kind of create a silver aura around the moon. Now that I have my drawing looking how I like it, I go ahead and add my crafter's tape, close up the book. That way I don't see that page when I go to do March. And here is the end for February. We have our great cover. We still have our reusable pull-out calendar, which I am loving. I love how red, and I love the texture of that mercury paper. It was a really good find, so if you like it, go ahead and grab it. I liked adding this little wood in there, even though it's not decayed like it is for the theme of the month. I think it works really well. Very simple spreads for budget and my tracking, and I'm excited to see what sort of books I read for this month. That is my bullet journal for February. I hope you all loved it. If you did, make sure to comment, like, subscribe if you haven't already done that. Also, always give support and love for my background music. They work just as hard as I do for my work, so make sure you show them love if you like their music. If you do any recreations, make sure to tag me on Instagram in the photo, and I can't wait for next month. See you then.